Crusader Kings 2, the most perfect game if you completely ignore the 2 meme starts and get into the real times of 1066. Today we'll do the most greatest challenge in Crusader Kings 2. It means taking over the world, but we'll do it through the Eugenics. And to do so, we need to get some good starting condition. Thus is why we start with a great leader, and we attribute him customly the traits of attractive, genius, deceitful, shrewd, wounded, stressed, and he has the great pox and is strong. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on with Paradox. Every single patch they seem to be modifying the game to their liking. And this time around with the Reaper's Due, we can give them a big great thank you and a huge hug to gratefully thanks them for adding the option of turning off Shattered Retreat and Defensive Packs. Thank you, Paradox. Alright, so as Eugenics approach, we need to find the most perfect suitable wife to produce offsprings. Looking at the available females, we have found a perfect match. The Duchess Matilda of Tuscany, 16 years old. She's a genius, quick, attractive, strong, diligent, patient, zealous, lustful, proud, and lunatic. Oh well. Shit happens, you know. So let's get married to her so we can start producing offsprings. And of course she gets pregnant right away, but the child is not ours. We will try and deal with that. We'll accept for now, but we'll eventually refute that child. So we found the father, Duke Alberto, and we execute him for high treasons. But at least the wife gets pregnant again, and she has a new son. We'll be naming him Stephen. And of course she gets pregnant again, so I do the only logical thing. I elect my horse as Chancellor of the realm. Don't ask questions. But Glero eventually passed away, so I had to go to a little party with my court chaplain to pass the sadness, where I decided to eat him because, you know, I'm kind of lunatic too. But it's okay because my wife is pregnant again. So I decided to elect my own anti-pope and decided to search for my wife pregnancy again. And I discovered that once again, it is not my child, but before I can take action, slept away in my dreams. But don't worry, Duke Stephen the Great will take over, merely 4 years old. He has capable hands and will take over the world. So be it. But Duke Stephen is already a little bit sick, so we call in the court physician and give me a little pill to pass illness. And I die. But do not be afraid. Duke Aldrich will take over the realm. He will perform much better, hopefully. Aldrich had no complication during his childhood, so he eventually reached 16 years old and decided to marry Georgia, Princess of Byzantine. She's born in purple, attractive, homosexual. Oh well, we can do with that. Let's get married and let's start producing some offsprings that are attractive. But sadly, she passes away, so we have to remarry again with the commoner fool. But she gets pregnant right off the bat with a little baby called Willem. But my little son Willem is not like other children. He does not scream or cry or even get upset, but he observed the world with keen interest. This morning he burst into bubbling laughter when a cook cut his hand badly and there was blood everywhere. Animals do not like him, and he makes strange buzzing sound when near other children. Courtier whispers demon spawn, and the servant have started to avert their eyes and make covert sign to ward off evil. And I think we will consult my court chaplain to get a better idea of what's going on here. And my court chaplain Tomas believes that the little Willem is the spawn of the devil. Even worse, he believes that his mother Duchess Estherine is a witch who has congress with the demon. But that's ridiculous. We cannot believe that. It doesn't exist. There's no devil. Come on. So my son, little Willem, has really taken to his nanny. A remarkable, talented young woman learned as any priest. It is strange though. I have no idea when this girl show up or where she's from exactly. But she's the most impressive nanny around. But quickly, Willem fell ill, and I've looked for answers and found out he suffers of flu. And this is alright. He will pass through. I pray to God to save his soul. But sadly, the world has been ravaged by the Black Death. It's coming, it's crawling up. We have to shut down the gates to avoid getting killed by this disease. The commoners may stay among themselves, but I'm starting to feel a little bit ill. My swollen limbs have blackened and burst, spewing out blood and pus. I've contracted the plague. But do not be afraid. I have the most talented and skillful doctor helping me out. I shall survive. I shall stand strong against the plague. But I died of the plague. This is saddening me, but there's no other choice. Now, the realm resides within Duke Willem II's hand. The child of Lucifer, his rule is sure to reign in a new age of terror and despair. Long live Duke Willem II. The Black Death keeps crawling around the country, murdering and killing everyone. One by one, my court is dying. Everybody's dying. There seems to be no escape to this illness. But the young Willem II of Franconia is standing strong. He keeps getting educated into intrigue and performing as best as he can to survive in this wild world. So the plague eventually passes us, leaving thousands upon thousands of deaf people. Eventually I finish my education and become an elusive shadow. My true father spoke to me in my dream, revealing his plans for me. The world shall bow down to my strength, and the people who accept the truth of the devil into their hearts or die. Of course, as being the spawn of the devil, we have to find a wife. We open up the gates and scourge for the greatest wife. But you know, life in the court is hard. A certain drop meats and makes me wroth and look up to the sky and see the moving star. It's the gnomon. God himself blessed me. I am so great that even the Kaiser recognized my talent and offers me the position of spy master, crusading for Jerusalem, and we free it. Praise the Lord, Aragon has freed Jerusalem from the enemy, from the Sunni's hand. The Holy Land is now free, and I can complete my duty. Jesus start whispering to me. He's worried that Satan has corrupted his words through his agent at the various ecumenical councils. He has asked me to seek out the good news that Philip brought so I can understand the true role of Mary. So I decided on the word of Jesus Christ himself to embrace Waldensian heresy. And at the same time, the wife I have, yes, because I have a wife now, unbeknown to me, is now pregnant with a child. So that night, he came to me. It seemed almost as if it was a dream. He had 3 heads, the body of a man, the legs of a cock, and the tail of a serpent. He taught me something about myself I had always known but denied. It is wrong, but it feels good. My wife then suddenly dies. She's left alone, murdered by someone, by a courtier, that I have to kill myself. Because she were investigating him, so there's no way I can let that slide. Start into... But now I need a new wife, so let's start seeking a new one. And found a perfect match into this 17 years old Countess of Chaldea. The Countess of Chaldea. But Jesus came back to me, advising me that Waldonian is still not the right religion, and he converted me to Bogomilist. And remember my grandmother Matilda? Well, she perished away and gave me her title to Tuscany. I am now a king. A true title standing for me finally. So of course, with my newly found title, I joined back the Holy Roman Empire just to get murdered. But my 8-year-old son will stand strong and destroy adversary. Well, that is until the Kaiser requests my titles. And then a rebellion rise up. You know what? Fuck this game. It's complete trash. Yes, diplomacy is on the map. I know it sounds weird, but you get used to it. It's not that bad. Yeah, actually it's very bad. It's terrible, but you get used to it, so don't worry about that. So by pressing F12, you get a lot of options. As usual, if you leave your tooltip, it will tell you exactly what it is. But I recommend you go in and start printing more cash, because money means more soldier means more victory. And with that said, I think you have enough information now to go ahead, jump into the game, start playing around, start having some fun, and don't forget, whatever you do as Russia, you can't be worse than the actual people. I mean, after all, the Tsar was leading the army. That man was leading the army while that man was fucking his wife.